Hey stationaries, what's going on tonight? Let's see, let's get into it. Housemarque is now a part of the House of Sony, but it looks like Sony isn't quite finished making moves yet, and a fan favorite PS4 game is getting set to make its PS5 debut. Get ready everybody, because Crossroads is live right now. Hey there, this is Crossroads, the PlayStation podcast for Boss Rush Games. I am LeRon and Dawkins, and co-pilot with me tonight is the PlayStation doctor, Mr. Austin Campbell. What's up, brother?
Can you dual sense it?
Oh, man.
That was terrible.
That was terrible, but it's not as bad as my tweet about be there or be square. Announcing the show tonight.
Did you really say that?
Yeah, that was yep. All right. Well, guess what, guys? This is all you get tonight. It's me and Austin tonight. No guest stars. Nellie's still out at school and everything, so we're just gonna get into it, man. How's your week been so far?
It's been good, man. I'm excited. It's only Tuesday, but fingers crossed. I had an interview today, and we'll see how that goes. And so I'm very, very excited about the rest of the week. I'm supposed to know by tomorrow or Thursday, so I'm excited for the rest of the week. And then we got 4th of July, man.
Yeah.
Barbecue on Saturday, the pool on Saturday. I already know that's planned, so I'm ready.
Oh, nice. 4th of July. I don't think I have anything going on for 4th of July. I may try to insinuate myself on somebody's cookout. I don't know. I don't like.
Find yourself in Oklahoma. Go on by.
Yeah. Well. My week's been eventful. Let's put it this way. We had the AC guys come out, and they replaced our entire air conditioning and heating unit today. And I work from home, so guess how miserable it was today. In 88-degree weather that feels like 97 inside a house. Like, as a matter of fact, let me check something right now. I bet you I can check the status of my thermostat downstairs on my phone, and let's see. It says it says it's 79 degrees inside the house right now. It's gonna take this thing all night to cool off.
I feel like you should be able to call out at work and be like, "Hey, my AC's out." They should be able to understand. Just be like, "All right, just take the day off."
Yeah, because guess who's not driving to a Barnes and Noble? Yeah, so it was pretty miserable. But I persevered because I was not going to take that cold shower until these guys had everything running and the unit was on. So
that's the worst, being wet and hot. Being like out of a shower hot. That's the worst. Yeah. So hopefully this new unit, like we got a new unit. I'm putting my hand up because like my desk is like right nearby the vent, so I can feel when it's on when I put my arm up and just see it's blowing nice cool air, but it's gonna take a minute for it to get cool in the house. Like and this house has like weird temperature zones. Like it's a split level house that me and my roommates live in, and of course the upstairs gets hot first. Yep.
Yeah. So and like I've been meaning to like go downstairs and like start closing the vents downstairs so air like yeah. Yep, but yeah, so today was kind of miserable. But I mean, I took calls from my desk and stuff. So I had enough distraction, but it was also just nice enough that it didn't stress me out and all the heat. So it's been an interesting couple of weeks here for PlayStation. I will say that.
Yeah, it's like they're fixing to release everything. I feel it coming. I feel like it's about to happen.
It's like the Kraken is just like right below the surface, getting ready to like erupt from the water and like just yank every ship down.
Every day for like the last 2 weeks, I've just been on Twitter and I go straight to trending and just see if PlayStation is trending at all. And every time it is, and every time I'm disappointed because it's not what I'm thinking. Except for today. Today was a good day. Today
for
was
PlayStation.
today was kind of out of the blue for me. Like I'm not gonna say I
Mhm.
wasn't expecting it, but it was out of the blue that it happened. And we're gonna get into that a little bit later throughout the show. So please, like if you're just now joining us on live on Twitch right now, welcome to the show. This is Crossroads, the PlayStation podcast of Boss Rush Games. Every week we come together, bringing you the latest in news, rumors, games, and general discussion in the world of PlayStation. Crossroads is live on twitch.tv/Exodus803, Tuesday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Normally 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're unable to join us during the live show, Crossroads can be found on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or other podcast locations. If you like the show, then please consider subscribing to the podcast show and giving us a follow on Twitch or giving us a follow on Twitch. You can also see the recap of the show on youtube.com/Exodus803 the following Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. or Thursday mornings over at youtube.com Boss Rush Games. youtube.com/Boss Rush Games. All Crossroads shows can also be found on our website, bossrushgames.com, with the Thursday morning update. While you're there, don't forget to check out our growing family of podcasts and remember to share, rate, and review us wherever you check out our show. And last but not least, you can chat with us and keep the conversation going by hitting us up on Twitter at PS_Crossroads, where we hold it down with more news, events, and topics throughout the week. All right, so hey Austin, what you been playing this week?
Man, I haven't really been playing a whole lot on my PS5. I didn't get a chance to go get Ratchet and Clank because I've broken down. You have broken me to where you've talked me into wanting to get physical copies of games.
Wait, how did I do that? How did I do that?
Well,
I just pre-ordered the digital of Monster Hunter Stories too. I did that.
Oh wait, really? Well, I don't know, but like the PS5, I just kept looking. I was like, man, I kind of want to get physical copies again. Because when I was in the PS4, I had so many PS4 games, and that was like when I was in college, and then was getting married. So I like got rid of pretty much all of them except for like the steel books and like that I had, and then like BioShock because I had BioShock on everything. But those were like the only ones I kept. And then like PS5, I was like, I'm more, I'm out of college. I got some money now. I kind of want to get physical again. I like having the cases. So yeah, I didn't get a chance to go buy a store and get Ratchet and Clank. So I really just been playing Call of Duty with friends. I've been playing around on the other team's Game Pass. So I've been playing some games on there. I wanted to play some indie games because I'm trying to take Ed's advice here. I'm trying to play more games from 2021, so I have more to discuss about Game of the Year options and stuff like that. Because last year I played like a total of 2 games, and this year I can safely say that I at least have 4 or 5. So it's a little better now. So I've been playing some 2021 games. I played Rain on Your Parade, which is an awesome game, and if it comes to PlayStation, I would love to play it again and get the platinum trophy for it. It's basically you're just like this storm cloud that just ruins everyone's day, and that to me just sounds like a great game to me. And then I'm playing like through the Halo series still with my friend Nick from LAN Party, and then I'm playing there's another game that I want to play and I can never remember the name of it, but it is it's like Wild at Heart or something like that. So that's the other ones that I plan on playing soon. And then on Switch, I am playing Mario Odyssey still and NBA 2K because it was $5 on the store, and I was
wow.
Why not? Yeah. 2K21 is like $4.78 right now. I had $4.87 in coins, so I was like, you know what? Why not? Let's do it.
Spend them pennies.
So yeah, I'm just playing a lot of little different stuff, but I do plan on playing Ratchet like very, very soon.
I've actually heard NBA on the Switch is actually a really good game. I've heard that.
No. Whoever told you that's a lie.
Okay, okay, then we need to have a conversation with those PAL Block people then.
It is. It reminds me of just NBA on PSP and PS Vita. I mean,
no.
It's just. I mean, you just gotta get it's so different because your buttons, like when you hold down to shoot, because I don't use the stick, I always use the button. I've never been a stick to shoot.
Uh-huh.
um it's like you gotta like hold it for like a split second, whereas like, or it feels like you don't hold it down as long, so you really gotta get like your timing down. And then like it doesn't seem to like, when I hold the sprint and I let go of the sprint, it's like it doesn't communicate it fast enough to where I'm still sprinting even though I let go of the button. Like it's just stuff like, it doesn't seem like the controller really. And I'm playing in handheld mode because that's just how I've done it.
Mhm.
It works when I'm playing career mode, which is like where you're your own guy and you're just kind of playing through the league and stuff. But when you start getting to the team stuff, like I have a real problem with like trying to get it. It just doesn't seem to click. It doesn't seem to mesh together. But it's good for what it is. But it's worth the $5.
Okay.
But I would never pay full price for it on Switch. Never. I would never even think about it. So. Um,
All right.
But I'm hoping
Okay.
MLB the Show comes to Switch eventually, because the Vita ports weren't that bad.
Yeah, I
They
want to
really
see.
weren't-
I want to see how that. I want to see how that is on the Switch. Like, I'm really curious about how it is on the Switch. I mean, getting on Xbox, we know it's going to be very similar to the PlayStation experience. It should be an exact replica of the PlayStation experience. But
Yeah,
I
and
really
it
want.
is. I played some on Game Pass, and it's pretty much the same as usual. It's like, all right, I just gotta remember the buttons on the controller for Xbox.
Yeah. So is that everything you've had going on? Well, as far as games,
Yeah.
at least.
I had an Ed long list this week.
Well, since it released on Friday of last week, I've been digging into the Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin trial version. That basically, if you play it, all your data transfers and saves over to the regular copy when that comes out on July the 9th. So that's been my big thing. Man, it's fun. Like, I don't know, if you've never played a Monster Hunter Stories game, it's completely different from the main series of Monster Hunter. Where the main series of Monster Hunter is an action RPG game in real time. Like, there's no turn based elements in the original Monster Hunter game. It all happens right there in your face and stuff like that. Whereas Stories simplifies it tremendously. It makes it a turn-based RPG game and makes it a little more digestible for you. Like, you don't have to worry about all the crazy nuances with the weapons and the armor. That stuff's there, but it's not to an extent to like how it is in Monster Hunter World. Well, or Monster Hunter in general. I say World because like World is in my opinion the echelon right now for where Monster Hunter is, and I I heap World over Rise just a little bit because Rise is like, in my opinion, Rise is just like the most updated version of Monster Hunter World. I feel like honestly they could have built Rise for the computer, or I mean, for the consoles and the PC,
Mhm.
and put it on top and skinned it right on top of Monster Hunter World Iceborne, and it would have fit in just nicely, which is why everybody's waiting for like the PC version to get announced for Monster Hunter Rise. Um, but yeah,
Do you
hmm?
do you feel like a little disappointed that it was on Switch and not console,
I
just
do.
because of how how better looking and probably play better that it could have been?
I I do,
Not
and here's a funny story because last weekend I was hanging out with some buddies, and all of us play Monster Hunter, but I'm the more hardcore Monster Hunter player, so like they're casual. Um so yeah, so I was over at my buddy's house. He has a Switch Lite just sitting there, and I was like, "Oh, cool. Let me pop on your Switch and let me see your progress in Monster Hunter." And he's like, "Oh, I'm not that far." I'm like, "Yeah, but I just want to see like your build because I know he uses a bow and arrow for for his main weapon and all that stuff." And he's like, "Okay." So I logged it in, I looked, and I was like, "Okay, dude, you only have like 3 hours and 47 minutes logged in." And he's like, "Yeah, I don't have that much time." I'm like, "Oh, I get it." So I went. So I just popped onto his character and was looking around, and I ran to. There's this area of the village called the um it's called the Buddy Plaza, and basically that's where like the other part of the commerce happens in that village. You get to train your dogs and your cats. You get to do trading at faraway lands with this thing called the Argosy. So I run over there and stuff just to see what he's got as far as like his dogs and his cats and stuff. I saw the cinema for like the first time that you walk in there, and I was like, wait a minute. I was like, you haven't.
So he hadn't even done that part.
So I was like, hey, you haven't even gone to the Buddy Plaza yet? And he's like, no. I was like, you've been playing for 3 hours and 50 minutes, and as soon as I said that, right, the other two buddies there, they just gave me this look. And the next thing you know, like, okay, there's LeRon. He's judging already because we're not on his level. I'm like, no, that's not what I'm talking about. And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I just thought he would have unlocked and cleared this. I immediately like pressed the home button and closed the game down because I did not want it to auto save. So whenever he got to it, he could actually see that animation and all this stuff. But yeah, like, oh my god, I get ridiculed a lot because when Monster Hunter World came out on the PC, I immediately stopped playing the PlayStation 4 version. Like, as a matter of fact, like I was committed. Like, I stopped playing the PS4 version because I was no longer playing an online game on PlayStation. I even canceled. I let my PlayStation Plus membership expire, and I didn't look back. Until I got a PS5, and then I'm like, well, the PlayStation Plus collection. I'm like, why would you not? Get back on PlayStation Plus. I haven't played an online game yet on my PS5, but I got a PS Plus collection.
Platinum? Did you get the platinum in Monster Hunter World? No.
No. Actually, I don't even know why. Well, I know. I kind of know why, because I can easily get the platinums in these games. I can the Monster Hunter games. I know them. Like, there was a point when I was importing the games from Japan because they were taking like 2 years to come out in the States. In translation and stuff, so I would import the games and just buy them again when the US version came out, even though I could not. Well, actually, on the PSP, you could convert. There was a tool that you could convert your save file. you had to run hacks for it, but there was a tool. But yeah, so like it got to a point where like I knew so much about Monster Hunter and stuff like that, and the other flip side of the equation was that is that nobody wanted to buy an extra console just to play a handheld game. So I always wanted to, so for the longest time I was playing all these Monster Hunter games solo and by myself, and now people are like, well, you're just elite, you don't want to play with anybody. I'm like, no, you guys forced me to play by myself because y'all didn't want to play with me, from jump back when all these other games were out. So I learned how to play solo.
Yeah. I see that Monster Hunter Solo, like when I did World, it was like it freaked me out a little bit just because I had never done solo. I would only play on the PSP games with other people at McDonald's Wi-Fi. Like that's how we go to McDonald's Wi-Fi. It was so terrible, but it was the only thing we had. So
oh man, you were lagging. You'd swing your sword, and all of a sudden the monster's on the other side of the screen.
Yeah, all the time.
Oh man, those were the days. Oh my god, I do and I don't miss those days of like the old school Monster Hunter. I am so glad Monster Hunter is where it's at now of Rise and World. Oh my god, because the quality of life for Monster Hunter has changed, and I can't go back. I went home for Christmas a couple Christmases ago. And I took my Switch with me because I had at the time I had Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. Even though I was playing World though. Like I told myself, yeah, I'm gonna like finally get into some more missions in Generations because I kind of like like redhead stepchild it when World came out. I tried to play one mission. I was like, ooh, these controls. Ooh, these. He's pausing to drink something. I never played the game again.
See, and that's how I felt when I played. I know the demo had like its own fair share of issues, but when I played Monster Hunter Rise, the demo, I was like, man, there's another Monster Hunter game that I already own that I could just play and have more fun with it. Like, it just seemed that way for me, but I'm not as hardcore as you are. Like, I like Monster Hunter, but I don't live to play the, all the new, games and the missions and stuff like you do, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm slacking right now because in Rise, like, I've only played 2 of the new event quests, and like we're like 8 event quests deep now. I haven't even seen like the new content for the 3.0 update.
That just came out like a week ago, didn't it?
No, 3.0 the 3.0 update came out the end of May.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the crossover the crossover content for stories just came out last week. And of
Oh,
course
oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
yeah, and of course I haven't played that yet.
It's too many games, man. There's
That
too many games.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, Zumi says he's playing Mario Golf right now on the Switch, and he says he's even got the wife to play it with him. So hey,
Hey,
that's what I'm talking about. Uh,
yeah, I can't wait to pick up that game. I want to be charging Chuck so bad. Like I can't wait.
I'm a Mario Tennis person. Like I've enjoyed Mario Tennis more. I've enjoyed Mario Golf. So I don't know if I'm actually going to get this one, even though like some of those new modes in Mario Golf are crazy. Like
Yeah.
like go ahead, hit the ball, and then you immediately got to run and take off after it. And be ready by the time it lands.
Yeah. It's fun because I don't know if you played Everybody's Golf. Might be on
I
the
have.
PS Plus collection. They had like a speed golf version, and then I don't know if you ever played 100-foot action robot golf,
Nah.
where you were like Transformers that played speed golf.
Oh,
You like
jeez.
it was a ridiculous game. But yeah. I enjoy those games. I'm a Mario Strikers guy. I'm not a soccer fan. I'm not big into soccer, but I
See,
love Mario
I
Strikers.
never got a chance to play Mario Strikers, and I really wish, out of all the games Nintendo wants to like reach back in the vault and grab and port over to the Switch, what the hell is taking them so long? I don't get it.
I had Mario Strikers on Wii. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I didn't buy it and I wasn't gifted it. My cousin had it and I said, "Hey, can I borrow this game?" And I never gave it back. Like I purposely never gave it back. He never asked for it, so it's like I wasn't gonna say, "Hey, do you want it back?" I was just like, "I'm gonna keep this."
Oh, it's mine now. Shoot. All right. Well, I guess we can go ahead and get to our next topic, which is always the fun topic for the night. What's on your PlayStation? So, are you ready? Did you get the notes on this one?
Oh yeah.
All right. So, tonight's edition of What's on Your PlayStation is called That's a Wrap. Yes, we are talking about burritos, gyros, wraps, all that good stuff. If you can throw a whole bunch of like stuff into something, wrap it up in like one of the little pocket things, and then just start munching on it, that's what we're talking about. So whether you're making a full commitment to a meal or just grabbing a snack, once it's wrapped in a tortilla or flatbread, it is on.
Oh yeah.
All right. So the three questions for tonight are: which do you prefer, burrito or a wrap, or one of the other alternatives to wraps? What is the most challenging burrito or wrap you have ever eaten? So yes, have you taken one of those 5-pound burrito challenges before, something like that? And then what is your overall favorite, like burrito, wrap, whatever? All right. So Austin, you go first.
Man, so with the burrito or the wrap, I think I have to go with burrito just because burrito automatically syncs in my mind with Mexican food, and I will take Mexican food over any other food. So I gotta go with the burrito over the wrap. I love a good I love a good steak burrito, shredded chicken burrito. I just love the idea of putting a whole Mexican dish with the rice and the beans and everything, and just all in one handheld item. I love that. I just love the idea of it. It's perfect.
I am, you know what, I don't discriminate between burritos and wraps and all that stuff, but I prefer a burrito. I prefer a burrito, especially because like you don't even have to be all Mexican about your burrito nowadays. Like you can go all Southwest if you want to, or your burrito could also be something unconventional. Technically once they start getting too unconventional, all of a sudden it's a wrap.
Yeah. That's how I see it in my line. Basically, like once you like take out like rice and beans and like cheese, like the meat part of it, it becomes a wrap to me. Because like I guess like when I think of wrap, I think of like one of my favorite wraps I ever had is like it's like the carved turkey with like bacon and lettuce and cheese and like chipotle sauce or whatever, honey mustard sauce, like that kind of stuff. Really is, that's what I think of when I think of wrap, and those are good. But if you ask me that, or do I want, black beans and cilantro rice and steak, and like, I'm taking the burrito, man. I'm taking the burrito every day.
For real, yes. All right, so have you ever done one of the burrito or wrap challenges?
I I am not, but I always have a harder time eating burrito when it's covered in like chili and cheese, because that, like, the heartburn effect comes in, and like I'm like, oh, I can't do it. But like if it's Chipotle, I'd down one of those burritos easily. I could probably do two if I really wanted to, but I tried not to.
I love it at Chipotle when they treat it like a challenge to like pack as much stuff as they can into the wrap without and getting the wrap to actually fit everything. Because I've had some burritos that are like are like this cup.
Yeah.
It's like how'd you do that? I didn't even see you stretch the freaking tortilla. How'd you do that? Me, I've never done any of those burrito challenges because I'm one of those people where I feel like Mexican food just hits my stomach like a brick anyway, whereas like I'm gonna feel it for like the next 7 hours anyway. So I've never gone on those 4 or 5 pound burrito like binges and stuff like that. Even though I have done multiple burritos in one sitting, but I've never done like one of those burritos that's basically meant to put you in the hurt locker. I've never done any of those challenges. So what would you say is your favorite? You're automatically burrito guy. Actually,
I gotta say anything carne asada. Carne asada. That's like 90. I'd say like 80% of the time, if I can only choose one meat, I'm picking steak. Like that's what I want on my burrito. Every now and then I'll pick chicken, but I usually, or maybe pork. But I really try to get steak, and then if I get both meats, I get steak and chicken.
Steak and chicken,
like,
yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, because I'm a fat ass, chimichangas are my thing. Not only is it a burrito, it's a fried burrito. I love these. That's one thing Ryan Reynolds and I have in common: the chimichangas.
You know what? I changed my answer because I totally forgot that chimichangas technically count, because every time like I go to like a New Mexican restaurant, it's like, give me the chimichanga, because if you mess this up, you literally can't cook. Because it's so hard to mess up a fried burrito, a deep fried burrito. Oh man. And then they put that white queso on top.
Oh yeah. God.
Yep.
I should have had Mexican tonight.
You should. Every night could have been a night where I picked Mexican.
I want me a chimichanga. You know what? That's the one thing. Like, I like to cook, but I guarantee you, I would fuck up a chimichanga if I was cooking it myself.
I've never made a chimichanga myself, but I'm a little scared too. I don't know. I don't trust myself.
I just feel like your entire filling is going to be in the oil.
Yeah. Like I would be so worried about overcook, especially if I made like good carne asada. Like, oh, this stuff is good. Now I put it in the burrito, and then like I overcook it. I would be terrified. I'd be like, wow, I can't believe I just, I just ruined perfectly good meat. I can't do it.
It's like that TikTok where they're like, you realize something, you're like, oh Lord.
But oh man, all right. Here's another here's a bonus question. Do you like when the stuff comes out of the burrito? Like, do you mind an overstuffed burrito?
Oh, I don't mind it. I don't mind an overstuffed burrito at all. Like, bring it on.
Okay. I know some people are like, man, it's so messy, but like, I honestly have no problem if it like oozes out of the ends.
Yeah.
I have a problem if it breaks the tortilla.
If it breaks the tortilla,
that means your tortilla's not strong enough. That's a problem.
Yeah, same. Yeah. Yeah, there was this you guys might have them out in Oklahoma. There's this chain called Cafe Rio. Have you heard of that? They make their own burritos. I mean, they make their own tortilla shells and all that stuff. Man, they're homemade tortillas. Like, I've never seen them make a burrito where they broke through that tortilla shell. I've never seen them do that. Yeah.
No, we have Chipotle and we have Qdoba. Those are the two big like chain. I don't know if you have Qdoba. I know you have Chipotle.
Yeah, well,
Qdoba.
we don't have any Cadobas. Let me see. I'm in Newport News, Virginia, so like we're bordered with Yorktown, Williamsburg, and Hampton. I think the nearest Cadoba is in Williamsburg, and like I'm not trying to drive all the way out there for. Oh, and then the next nearest one is across the water in Norfolk or Virginia Beach. I'm not trying to drive all the way out there for that. If I wind up in one of those places and I'm thinking about it, yeah, I'll hit them up.
That's how the nearest Chipotle in Qdoba is like 30 to 40 minutes away from where I live. So it's one of those things where I only get it when I'm over there, but I'm like really, it's like a special thing now because I'm never over there. Like I just like, I get excited like, oh yes, I can actually get Chipotle in Qdoba this time. Because Qdoba, they have like these they're called drunken yardbird tacos.
What?
And man,
that just sounds good. That just sounds good.
So good, dude. It's if you like lime chicken, you really like this. So yeah, man. No disrespect to gyros. I've never been a fan of the meat particularly. Like I don't know, the meat it doesn't do it for me. I can't get into them because I go to the Greek festival, the one that comes in Tulsa, and I try one almost every time I go, and I'm like, nope, I don't like it. I like the bread. I really like the the bread part of it, but I just can't get into the meat for some reason.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're onto something there because like the meat is different. Like I'm not sure if it's the texture or whatnot. Like I mean, I don't have a problem with gyros, but I eat them if they're available, but I don't run after them. Like I'm like there's a Greek place. There's a Greek place that's right up the street from me, and I will go there and I'll get everything on the menu. And I think out of all times I've gone there, I've only sat down there one time to have a gyro.
Yeah. There's just better food at the Greek festival. Like every time I go to the Greek festival or like the Greek restaurant or the Greek, I'm not gonna say restaurant, the Greek place in the mall. Like I don't know if you got one of those Greek place in the mall. Like,
yes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, there you have it, everyone. That's tonight's edition of What's on Your PlayStation. That's a wrap. Hit us up at PS_Crossroads on Twitter. Let us know what's your favorite wrap, flatbread, or whatnot. That if it's something that winds up getting wrapped up in a shell or whatnot, we want to hear about it. What's your favorite? What do you prefer? And hit us up with something that we can go out to a restaurant and get ourselves, if you don't mind. All right.
Oh,
yeah.
Ron.
Yes.
I mentioned it. Now that I know that you once worked at a mall, we should do this topic for next week's PlayStation. Best mall food.
Best mall food? Got it.
It. That's we gotta remember that.
Wait,
one.
should we wait for Nelly to come back?
If she's in the chat, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see if she's in the.
She's not in the chat right now.
Oh, okay. Well then, we might wait. We'll ask her.
Zumi's like he'll be on that one.
I mall food, man. It's another world. Like you got the ones that are like you can get anywhere else. Like you got like your Chick-fil-A's and stuff like that in there.
Yeah.
But then like the Cajun places and the Japanese places and all that stuff. It's a different world.
I don't know. Our mall. Wow, I can't talk right now because I'm thinking about food. Our mall has been slacking lately, though. I mean, like we have a Chick-fil-A. We've got Dairy Queen. We've got 2 Chinese places in there. None of them are. I think. Well, no, we have one that's called China Max, which I think is in every mall.
Yeah.
And then we have we have a tropical smoothie there. But there was this one place on the corner of the food court. It's been everything I can think of. At one point, it was a Burger King. At one point, it was a Wendy's. At one point, it was a Taco Bell. At one point, it was at one point, it was a Boardwalk Fries. It's hilarious like that. For some strange reason, that corner spot can't keep anybody.
You gotta imagine there's probably it's probably in a sinkhole or something. Like something's wrong with the building. It's haunted or something. Who knows?
All right. Well, there you have it. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the news and the event topics for tonight. So let's get right into it. First off, you know what? I had to include this one because this just came in today, and I know everybody should be super pumped about it. Casey Hudson, the former head of BioWare, has announced a new studio and that they are working on a new IP. That's right. You know this guy. This is the guy that brought to us Mass Effect, among other things at BioWare. Casey Hudson has announced the start of a studio called Humanoid Studios. The studio, which was founded by Hudson and various other developers, is built with the goal of combining excellence in the arts with advanced sciences to deliver the future of interactive entertainment. Some pretty big buzzwords there. Writing on Twitter, Hudson said that this new studio is aiming to unleash the creative freedom of developers, bringing innovation and artistry to levels through an all-new IP. The studio is hiring on their website right now for a number of roles, including a senior gameplay programmer, a senior gameplay designer, a director of operations, a senior creative director, a senior level designer, a 3D artist, and an environmental artist. So they are getting off the ground right now, basically. It will likely be a little while until we hear from Humanoid Studios and what they are working on, but nonetheless, with Hudson at the helm, hopefully the team are able to build something as gripping and beloved as the Mass Effect franchise. Austin, question: what do you think could possibly be the first IP to come out of Humanoid Studios? Do you think it's going to be a sci-fi epic, or do you think it's going to be something completely out the box, what do you think?
Well, I don't know if it's gonna be, I don't know if it's gonna be sci-fi, but I would love for him to, if he has, the financial ability to, and the team size to like really make what Mass Effect was and make it a continuation story of games. Because I think that's something that hasn't been done really, as far as like video game sequels go, is whatever choices you make in the first game, carry on to your second game and carry on to your third game. Like that has been so underutilized. I feel like Mass Effect is so cool for doing that. And it's just disappointing that that's not happening. Like even with, and with Sucker Punch and Infamous and Ghost of Tsushima, there's always the one side that is correct. That is canon. Whereas Mass Effect, everyone has their own canon, weirdly enough. And, like, I really hope that Casey Hudson is able to... that's the thing. Like, I don't know if he's going to have that kind of a studio to do that kind of deal, but it would be great for him to be able to do that and then EA not to be able to throttle him at all.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it would, like... I love the idea of that. Like, there are some things that still need to get fleshed out with that, but I always felt that when they first introduced Mass Effect in 2007, with that particular mechanic in mind, I was like, okay, you guys are planning for this to be 3 games. Like, I feel like the scope is a little too large for it, but let's see what happens. They kind of, I want to say they got it 65% right. I want to say that because, like, I thought, the way they explained it, I thought every nuanced thing that you did would make a point, at the end of the game, at the end of the series. But of course, only it seemed like only the major stuff, like the Paragon and Renegade stuff, is what really, brought it home. Because I mean, like, okay, the first Mass Effect game, punching that journalist, that wasn't a Paragon or Renegade moment. But the second and third one, it was.
Listen, you're a paragon if you punch that woman in my mind.
I just loved it. By the time we got to the third game, she was ready for you. Self-defense classes. She was like, you might be a Spectre, but I'm no bitch. I got to get back on the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Oh my god, I got so many games I need to play. Oh my god, it's crazy. Follow-up question though. With Humanoid Studios, is it a possibility Sony will roll out the red carpet for Humanoid Studios the same way they did for Jade Raymond's Haven Studios? Do you think that might happen? I'm
glad you asked this question, because if you didn't, I was going to ask you, do you think this is one of those like Haven Studios, or do you think it's where like Xbox tries to, buy them? Like, who wants to fund this game? Because I honestly, even whether it's Xbox or PlayStation, I want someone to fund him and fund this studio and fund these games, because I want to see what he can do with with no throttle, and what he can do personally with the studio, from his creative mind. EA, it always seems like EA is always holding everyone back, no matter what it is. It always seems like EA's holding something back. Whereas I think, PlayStation would give them the money. I mean, they let Hideo Kojima do whatever he wanted.
That's true.
Like,
Yeah.
You want to make a game about carrying fetuses around? Like, that's all right, cool. Like, and Xbox is like all up for their games. So I definitely feel like it'd be cool if someone bought it. But if he's able to fund it himself, I fully support people wanting to stay independent. So,
Yeah.
but it would be kind of cool if they got.
I'm thinking that they are going to try to be independent at first. I have a theory though. I don't think that Hudson will want his studio to get in bed with Microsoft this early because remember, like the let me see, Jade Empire, Mass Effect for sure, and I think there was 3 BioWare games that were Microsoft Studio games, and then of course eventually they broke off from Microsoft Studios. Either they broke off or Microsoft let them go or whatnot. But I don't think he's eager to jump into bed with Microsoft, even with
Yeah.
Microsoft looking all big and benevolent right now. But I also think that like Microsoft has been snatched. This isn't a sore spot for me. Like Microsoft getting ZeniMax and Bethesda, that is not a sore spot for me. I am one of those few PlayStation gamers out there. I was like, good for them because like with the way the Xbox Series X and S launch happened, like they need something ASAP. They need something ASAP. So like this is the thing that's finally going to get them to come out the gate swinging and stuff like that. Now Sony, on the other hand, so I like what Sony takes a hands off approach. Actually, Sony and Nintendo kind of do this. Like they look at Nintendo's relationship with Platinum Games right now. It's very hands off. It is. Like Platinum Games, is delivering games for for their system, and it's all hunky dory and stuff like that. Nintendo's not leaning on them, and I think that's what Sony's starting to do with some of these studios too. I mean,
Right.
we're gonna get into it a little bit later, but the relationship that Sony has with studios like Housemarque, for example, and like of course Insomniac. It looks like Sucker Punch is gonna get groomed eventually. Wait, is Sucker Punch still independent, right?
Sucker Punch is bought.
Is
They've
Sony
been part of PlayStation.
okay?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember. But yeah, like these they have relationships. Sony has relationship with these companies, and they're good relationships. Like yeah, everybody gets all bent out of shape because like Japan studio shut down and stuff like that. But apparently like when they did when you sit down and do the reading and the research and stuff like that, like those games just aren't hitting anymore, especially in Japan.
Right.
If they're not hitting in their home turf, then that's a problem. Like why sink money into that stuff? It doesn't make any sense. And I think more of us Westerners were pissed off and upset behind like Japan studio falling by the wayside when honestly we don't know what all was going on over there. We don't know what was going on over there. Just like we don't know for sure like what was going on with Hideo Kojima and Konami, for example. I have a funny feeling that Konami were just being dickheads to the guy, but it doesn't matter. Or why did Keiji Inafune like get forced out of Capcom? Stuff like that. Like the creator of Mega Man got forced out of Capcom.
Right. It's very weird what's happening like with the Japanese developers. Like it's like I don't know, and it's a different side of the world. So like their business practices are not going to be the same as ours. It's hard to understand really what they're thinking, but yeah, man, it'd be great if PlayStation could get this. This would be a great hit for another, especially if they do go down to like third person RPG. That's what PlayStation does. So it fit right in.
All right. Yeah. But let's go on to our next topic because speaking of Sucker Punch, Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut gets an age rating for PS5 and PS4. Ooh, this is looking cut.
See, Stoy, this is why I waited. This is why I was waiting to play it because I knew this would happen. I knew this was coming.
All right, so a new ESRB age rating has been spotted for a Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. This new version is listed for PlayStation 5 and PS4. Given the naming, we assume that this would be a bundling of the base game along with DLC, but that's purely speculation and on our part at the time of this writing. By the way, this comes to us from pushsquare.com. The news for this one comes from pushsquare.com. Ghost of Tsushima was one of the first PS4 games to receive enhancements when we played on the PS5. Well, it doesn't matter. Austin and I were holding out for the PS5 version anyway.
Well, I knew they had enhancements, but I knew like I wanted the PS5 copy. Like
Yeah.
that's the same reason why I'm waiting on The Last of Us 2 as well. So it's like I know these things are coming.
Yeah, but of course we are waiting on the native version, which looks like it might finally be happening. But the naming of it is kind of interesting, though. Maybe this director's cut will take the open world epic one step further with the full PS5 support. And then there's rumors of an expansion that are coming out, which we have a rumor control topic a little bit later. So basically, what could possibly be next for the Ghost of Tsushima? Are we looking at a sequel? Are we going to get a spin-off? Is there going to be an animated show? We already know a movie's coming.
Oh yeah.
What's next here? Like this I feel like Ghost of Tsushima might wind up being this generation's Uncharted. I feel like Ghost of Tsushima may start battling with Horizon.
You know, you're not actually. I think that's actually a good point that you're bringing up, where Ghost of Tsushima really has that ability to be this kind of generation's Uncharted. As far as, you know, being very accessible. Like, I'm not saying that like Horizon isn't accessible, but Ghost of Tsushima is definitely more accessible than like Last of Us. Like Uncharted was so easy. It was like Indiana Jones. You know, Nathan is this kind of quirky dude, and it was easy to wrap around. Last of Us is hard to wrap your head around, and that's okay. Like there's space for that game, with Naughty Dog, but Sucker Punch really has found something here that people really connect with, and it's such a, you know, and this is, you know, while it's not a Japan studio, it is getting that Japanese like representation there. It's getting that Asian representation there, and that to me is cool. I think that's why they would love for this to like actually blow up. I think that's why they're making a movie right off the bat. You know, like it's crazy. Like now it's hard to say will we get this movie, because we were getting an Uncharted movie like 10 years ago, and we just now got a screenshot for it, and no one's excited about it. you know, like Horizon. We haven't heard anything about Horizon. We've heard a God of War movie for forever. You know, like all this stuff is happening. So, but I really think they've found something. I've yet to play the game. I do plan on picking this up. I do think we're gonna get, you know, other things as we'll talk about later. But they've definitely hit, and especially because they got like a bunch of Game of the Year nominees last year. And if it wasn't for Last of Us being like kind of the critics' darling, I think it would have won a lot of people's. You know, Last of Us. All the game writers love Last of Us, you know,
Yeah.
but a lot of people, just gamers, really connected with Ghost of Tsushima. So
Yeah, agreed. I can't. It's too early to call. Like I feel like Ghost of Tsushima is like its star is still rising. I mean, like we were thrown with the news that a movie was coming out. Like, I mean, it seems like Crossroads is the Uncharted. I'm not the Uncharted. I'm sorry. Is the Cyberpunk 2077 show and the Ghost of Tsushima show and the Spider-Man Miles Morales show. I think at least once a quarter. Well, I know for sure Cyberpunk gets a lot of treatment here. I'm not sure if it's because I have a personal bias for the game or whatnot, but Cyberpunk seems to be dominating the news. Like even now, like, I mean, we just talked about it last week. It's back on the PlayStation Store, and you know, and like the news now says that, you know, like the game is basically to the point where CD Projekt Red realized. I'm not sure if they want to come out and say that, but you know, this is not about Cyberpunk tonight. This is about Ghost of Tsushima, and I swear, like, Ghost of Tsushima gets a lot of notoriety on Crossroads, and we are here for it. We are, because I mean, this is exciting.
Even though neither of us have played the game,
exactly,
we are here for it.
Exactly, it's like we're saving ourselves for the marriage that is PS5.
Exactly, like that's exactly what it is. Like I was like, when Ghost of Tsushima Last of Us was coming on PS4, we were already getting rumors on PS5. I was like, no, I'm holding out.
Awesome.
I'm holding out.
Awesome. Do you know how many times I've almost bought Ghost of Tsushima?
Dude, this last sale where Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima were both like $30. I was like, I could have played both of those games for the same price that I'm probably less of the price I'm gonna pay for the Ghost of Tsushima director's cut. I mean, it's probably gonna be $7. So
Right? Yeah. I was in Target the other day. Like they finally marked the disc copy down to $40. It was in my shopping cart. I almost bought the damn thing, and I was like, "Hold on, I am waiting for a PS5 version." I have faith. It's just like how your wife prayed for a guy like you. I'm praying for the PS5 version of Ghost of Tsushima.
I will wait. I will set myself for you.
Oh man, we're dumb.
Yeah. If you didn't catch that, then you gotta be on here when we go live at some point.
Yeah, you gotta.
There's a whole lot of.
Yeah, you gotta catch our B-roll whenever you see the tweet coming out saying we are live. Catch it, because like the show doesn't start right when it says we are live. Okay, all right. Our final news topic for the night.
Speaking of, wait a minute.
PlayStation Japan appears to have leaked the acquisition of Bluepoint Games. Yeah. So here's the crazy part about this whole thing. A tweet from the PlayStation Japan Twitter account has potentially revealed that the company has acquired Bluepoint Games, the American studio behind the Demon's Souls and Shadow of the Colossus remakes. This now deleted tweet was spotted by Reset Era user Modiz as well as Nibble on Twitter. Both posted independent images of the tweet, which shows Japanese text accompanied by artwork for Bluepoint Games and the English text, "Welcome to the family." Now, where we heard that where we even seen that today? just hold on there. We'll get to it in a second. The tweet was posted by PlayStation Japan at approximately the same time PlayStation announced the acquisition of Housemarque. The artwork used for both tweets is near identical aside from two key differences. One has Bluepoint Games logos instead of Housemarque's, and the deleted image also has the Demon's Souls key art in the montage of games in the background. This suggests that PlayStation Japan may not have simply put the wrong logo up, but instead a whole incorrect piece of bespoke art for an upcoming announcement. By the way, this news comes to us from IGN.com, by the way. As such, it may be potentially a short amount of time until PlayStation announces the acquisition of Bluepoint Games. Austin, I'm going to let you get there for a second because I know you're ready for this. Bluepoint Games was founded in 2006 and has built a reputation on producing top-tier remakes of beloved games. The studio's last game, Demon's Souls, is a cutting-edge recreation of FromSoft's 2009 cult classic, and it released to rave reviews on the PS5 at launch. So, Austin, you've been calling this for months. You've been calling this since Demon's Souls dropped on the PlayStation 5.
Oh yeah, like honestly, I've been thinking this was gonna happen since like Last Guardian days. I feel like it just was going to happen. Like,
I honestly thought Sony was going to acquire Bluepoint before they got Housemarque. I honestly thought that.
I did too, just because Bluepoint like has consistently hit them with quality stuff. They're refreshing games. I desperately need them to do a Resistance trilogy remaster. Like, I am begging you at this point, you know. But it's bound to happen. I do think we're gonna get this probably either. Now this is going off what I was saying on Twitter. It's either, I would say that they were probably going to announce this either this Thursday or next Tuesday, and then they're going to announce the show. And I think we're going to see what Bluepoint is working on next, because Bluepoint's a big studio. They were working on multiple things. We've been hearing a lot of rumors about like the Metal Gear Solid remake. I think we get a little taste of it at the next PlayStation showing. And I think that's going to be part of the announcement. But what it was hilarious that, you know, everyone sent out congratulations Housemarque, and then Japan Studio said Bluepoint. They're like, shit.
That was hilarious. I mean, I mean, Austin, you basically woke me up with the news about Housemarque, and then as fast
Oh
as I
no,
went,
Nelly was actually doing. Nelly
was
was the one that broke this. Yeah,
okay.
Nelly was the one tweeted. She was like, she beat us both to it because I looked at my phone and Nelly, said she said this might be old news. I was like, no, this is breaking
This
news.
is breaking news.
This is breaking news. So yeah, very, very, very excited that Bluepoint's finally coming on. I think we're gonna get a Metal Gear Solid. I really think we're gonna get a Resistance
Oh
remake.
my God,
That's in my heart of hearts. That's like deep down in there. I'm gonna be heartbroken.
well, we need to be real. We need to be realistic though. Like, is Bluepoint is Sony just gonna keep leaning on them for remakes, or are they finally gonna become a breakout studio and start getting their own IPs?
Well, and I said this to Ed in the Boss Rush chat this morning that I think they're a big enough studio where they could branch off. And I kind of hope that they do let them branch off. But now that PlayStation's purchased them, I feel like you could have you could put more people on the team, so you can work on multiple remakes and let them do their own, or you can switch people out. You're in the PlayStation ecosystem. You can go to different games and do different stuff if that's what you wish to do. So, but I kind of want to see them do their own thing. But like at this point, there's so much the remake people that like I just want to see you make the games I love beautiful, and you've done a great job.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. If all they ever do are just if all they ever are backup dancers for for these greatest hits.
And see, and that's the thing. Like to me, they're not backup dancers, especially with Demon Souls, where it's I look at old Demon Souls, I look at this Demon Souls, I'm like, I want Bluepoint's Demon Souls,
right?
I like there's like just how beautiful it is. Like I look at PS3 games all the time and be like, oh, that'd be a cool game to play. And I look at Demon Souls, I'm like, I don't want to play that. I look at Bluepoint's Demon Souls, I'm like, I want to play that game. I won't be good at it, but I want to play it.
Yeah,
so,
agreed.
Yeah, they've knocked it out of the park with theirs and like the medieval. Not medieval.
No, wait, it wasn't medieval. It was crap. Hold on, let's
the Uncharted trilogy.
Let's look at what they've done. So let's look at what they've done over the last few years. Let's see. We've got the Demon Souls remake. We've got Uncharted Nathan Drake collection. They did the Metal Gear Solid HD collection, which was 1, 2, and it was
2 and 3.
It was 2 and 3. Like there's three different pictures on the cover, and I was confused for a second. Oh, that's right. Peace Walker was included in there, the PSP game. Yeah. They've done Ico and the Shadow of Colossus. They did Flower. Was Flower original? Is that an original one for theirs, or did they just port that to the PS4?
No, that was remastered because it was on PS3. Man, what are the people who made Journey? Why am I forgetting their name? But they did the PS3 version and they put it to PS4 and PS Vita. And then they did Gravity Rush.
Yes, the remastered
Shadow of the Colossus.
Shadow of the Colossus, the God of War collection.
Okay, so they did the PS3 collections as well.
Yeah,
I don't know if they did all of them, but they did a few of them.
Oh, but they did PlayStation. They did PlayStation's Battle All Stars Battle Royale for the PS Vita.
Oh, so they ported it over to the Vita. They did the Vita version. Okay.
Yep.
Not a bad version, but it's not a good game. So,
True.
It's hard to make a good version of a not very good game.
Yeah, so Blast Factor, God of War collection, Ico 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, so from 2006 to 2020, like we have seen them entrusted with like over 10 different games that, for the most part have been critically acclaimed throughout the entire PlayStation's library. So good on them. Good on them. And they're an American studio out of Austin, Texas. So keep doing the good work, Bluepoint.
All 4 of those games, the last 4 they've done, which was like Nathan Drake, Gravity Rush, Shadow of the Colossus, and Demon Souls, they've all upgraded and they've all gotten better. Like Uncharted was really, really good. Like the Nathan Drake collection was really good, but Shadow of the Colossus was like mind blowing how well they made that game. They
Yeah.
couldn't do anything with the controls, but that's because the controls were terrible in the first place. But Demon Souls, they like upped their game even more. Where it was jaw dropping. So.
Mm-hmm. All right, so there we have it. That's all the news. That's all of our news and topics for this evening. We still have the big topic on the way. So, to get the scoop on all tonight's topics, links have been provided in our Twitch stream chat. Go check them out, and then continue the conversation with us on our Twitter page at @PS_Crossroads. I'm having fun. Are you?
Oh yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. It's been a good show.
All right, so here we are. We're at the big topic, and we've been hitting it all night. So let's just go ahead and talk about Sony's acquisition of Housemarque Games. Today is a big day for Housemarque, and it has been over 26 years in the making. Today, Sony has announced the acquisition of Returnal developer Housemarque. The partnership with Sony Interactive Entertainment started with Super Stardust HD on the PS3 and saw the studio go on to make arcade-inspired games for all of the PlayStation platforms. With their most recent release, Returnal, which is a thorn in Austin's side. Returnal on the PS5 is the studio's biggest foray at this current time into a third-person action game, and it solidified their voice and brand in the industry as a developer capable of delivering unique and quality player experiences. Confirmed in a PlayStation blog post, PlayStation Studios boss Herman Hulst also explains how the studio is capable of making titles that resonate with the PlayStation community. This, in a quote, he says, "This edition enhances the creative force of PlayStation Studios, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds for Housemarque." Ilari, can you pronounce that name? I swear I really should have looked it up before I put it in the notes.
No, that's definitely a Swedish name that I'm not gonna be.
I'm just.
I would say Ilari.
I would say I would say Ilari Kutinen. Let's say it like that. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. I apologize. It's not my thing. I don't like doing that. But Ilari, the co-founder and managing director at Housemarque, adds that we are so excited to finally join the PlayStation Studios family. This gives our studio a clear future and a stable opportunity to continue delivering on gameplay-centric approaches while still experimenting with new methods of narrative delivery and pushing the boundaries of this modern art form. Locally here in Helsinki, this also means that we will officially expand the PlayStation family to a growing industry hub and secure the legacy of the oldest game studio in Finland. Whew. Ilari then adds that Sony's purchase of the company allows Housemarque to grow further in stature and show what the team can do without any limitations. He would go on to quote, "We can't wait to show everyone what will be in store in the upcoming years, and we hope to usher in more lasting memories and exhilarating titles for the next quarter century and beyond." Congratulations, Housemarque. We knew it was coming. Yes. Well, us stationaries here at Crossroads, we knew your time was coming. We like we said earlier though, we thought Bluepoint was getting it first. But hey, any way you cross the finish line is a win. So, Austin, I just want to point back. Does what we know new IP's coming. We know new IP's coming. Should we speculate or should we just let it run?
I actually think that this was kind of the other thing I was gonna get into with Bluepoint. I think on this next showcase we're gonna see what Bluepoint's working on, and we're gonna see a new game from Housemarque. And while that's very quick after Returnal, I think that studio has gotten enough power behind it where they could work on 2 games now. Mm-hmm. And I think we're gonna see more of an arcade type game that we've seen from like with Alienation and Resogun and stuff like that. I think we're gonna see some kind of arcade type game, kind of smaller based game that Housemarque's known for, and we'll see we'll see what they have in store for Returnal, because I don't think they're gonna finish Returnal. I think they will add more stuff to Returnal, because let me tell you, man.
Here we go.
Well, no, this has really nothing to do with me, but the Returnal community is big. Like,
Yeah.
people really, like, I think a lot of people love the game. A lot of people are like, I have not heard anyone say they hate Returnal and it's a bad game. They're just frustrated, and they're always going, like, every time I go to Reddit, you know, I have so many subreddit pages, it's not even funny. I can't even keep up with any of them. But Returnal is a constant one that keeps popping up for me, because people are like, is this strategy going to work? Is this strategy going to work? Like, people really want to play this game, really want to finish this game, more than I've ever seen anyone talk about any roguelike game except for Hades. Like, Hades is the only one that people are like, man, I really want to finish this so I can know what happens.
Yeah.
But Returnal on a even more, because Hades, it was more about like characters and stuff. Returnal's like, I want to know, like, and I want to beat this game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so much fun that you can't put it down. They really knocked it out of the park. I don't know if they did this game where, like, it's going to be a beloved franchise like Uncharted or anything like that, or Ghost of Tsushima. But I think it's a game that's got people talking, and it's got people really fascinated with what they can do.
Yeah.
And I think that's why Sony was like, yeah, these guys got it. This is a team that we've got to invest in. And so I do think we'll see a new IP on the next showing. I think it's going to be more of an arcade type game. I don't think it's going to be like a full AAA looking game like Returnal is, but I do expect to see it. I think that's why, because it says right here, says this edition enhances the creative force of PlayStation Studios, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds for Housemarque. I definitely think that it's also the other way around, where PlayStation Studios enhances the creative force of Housemarque, and Housemarque's going to be able to do more things. So.
Agreed.
So
yeah. So I mean, man, I swear, you know, the sky's the limit. And earlier before the show started, we were talking about, like, you know, that people are really upset about this. Well, people who aren't PlayStation centric are really upset about Sony acquiring Housemarque. But how many games has Housemarque actually released on other platforms?
Well, and they've released, because is Finland's oldest studio, which I didn't know, but they've been around since the 90s, with Super Stardust, I believe, or just Stardust being their first game.
Yeah.
And they were on PC. They had some games on Xbox, but in the last 9-10 years, it's been really with Sony, and that's kind of no one's really cared about whatever Housemarque did before these Sony games, you know, with like Dead Nation and then Alien Nation and Resogun and all stuff. That's been all PlayStation, and it's a studio that Sony kind of, like, Housemarque kind of lost their way a little bit before Returnal, with what is that game? Not Scarlet Nexus. That's not the one I'm thinking of.
Let's see. Housemarque. We were just talking about that game too.
Yeah, it's some Machina.
Next Machina. Yeah.
So they kind of Resogun was a huge hit, and then Super Stardust Ultra was a huge, you know, like, people love Super Stardust. Alienation was like, okay. The Next Machina, like, it came out and no one really talked about, and it was on, I don't know if it was on Xbox, but I think it was on PC. And then Matterfall, no one talked about.
Yeah, Matterfall, nobody talked about.
So they kind of lost their way, but PlayStation really believed them. They gave them the AAA power to make Returnal, and it paid off for them. And I think it is different. I don't understand people's arguments that it's like, oh, well, Xbox bought Bethesda. It's not the same. Bethesda was a publisher. Like, it's a whole different thing. Not saying, and I don't know if this wasn't in our notes, but Herman Hulse came out and said, we're not in
the arms race with Microsoft. We're not.
Yeah. And it's like, and people are like, well, clearly, like, yeah, because you're never going to be. Microsoft is literally like,
you don't have Microsoft money. Sony doesn't have
Is there
Microsoft
any
money.
company that has more money than Microsoft? Like maybe
No.
Amazon.
Yeah,
maybe but
and hold on, because like with the recent introduction of Windows 11, like obviously Microsoft and Amazon are in bed with each other.
yeah. So it's like who could possibly win against them? Like PlayStation really is kind of like PlayStation feels like the old veteran of boxing. Like he's been around, he's really had to work hard, and it's just flashy guy with as much money, and you hate to see him win, but he's winning, man.
Yeah.
He's just he's winning.
Didn't you say it a couple of weekends ago on the Boss Rush podcast? Didn't you say that Microsoft has the money to purchase like Nintendo and Sony like 4 times over?
Yeah, like they could buy them 4 times over, and even more than that. And like I said, Nintendo would never sell. But like if Sony was like really strapped for cash, I mean,
Nintendo would slash their own bellies before they let Microsoft buy them.
Nintendo was like, no, because you'll make Mario like it'll be like the whole Batman thing with the Batman and
it'd be Mario Pinata.
Well, it would happen would be like, with the Batman and going down thing, it'd be like Mario doesn't go down.
No, we all know it's Waluigi that does all that.
Oh yeah.
That's why he got an upside down L on his cap.
So of course they're not in a buying business, but they are in the business of building studios, helping. That's the thing, like with Haven Studios, they're not buying them. They're letting them do their own thing. We just want to fund you. We just want to be, and Bluepoint, they were like, we're gonna fund you to make these games, and they've built a relationship. Insomniac, same thing. Like they were with PlayStation. They did a few games, like they did Haze, and they did Song of the Deep with GameStop, and then they did Sunset Overdrive with Xbox, and none of them took off. Mm-hmm. But all their PlayStation games did, so it made sense. It made sense that they were winning.
And you know what? I'm glad you pointed out about Sunset Overdrive. Listen, guys. Like I know everyone's upset about like Insomniac, becoming part of House PlayStation. I'm just gonna call it that from now on. Whenever a new studio not even a new studio, whenever a studio just winds up getting the banner of Sony, I'm just gonna say they're part of House PlayStation now. It rolls off the tongue pretty easily. But here's the thing about it. If when Sunset Overdrive was on the Microsoft and the Windows platform, if you guys had bought it like gangbusters, there would have already been there would have already been a Sunset Overdrive 2 exclusively on Microsoft.
Yeah.
As well
they could have stayed independent.
They could have stayed independent. They could have stayed independent because then they would have had the best of both worlds. They would have had 2 of the biggest publishers, backing them, like one after the others, coming for like, hey, give us something new. Like, hey, Sony's like, hey, we need more Spider-Man. Microsoft and hey, like we need more, Sunset Overdrive and stuff like that. But the player base that was over on the Microsoft side, I'm not saying no one bought it because they clearly got sales off of it.
Yeah, and it's a great game. It's a great game, but it wasn't doing what they wanted to do.
Yeah,
and it didn't sell.
And it's kind of like when you give your spouse a hall pass. You give them the opportunity to take a walk on the wild side, and then they ultimately see what they may or may not have been missing.
Yeah. Eventually they come back if you're a good person.
Exactly, and that's what it is. It's just like we're not really gonna quibble about this stuff. But honestly, I feel like people get bent out of shape about this stuff. Like Sony bought I'm gonna catch so much flack from the audience. Sony bought a minor studio. And the Microsoft side of the house, the Microsoft gaming consumer side of the house, is losing their minds about it. Which I don't understand. The one thing I can equate this to is like you guys are still doing the throwbacks of the console war thing, and even Tim Ryan and what's Daddy Xbox? What's his name? Spencer.
Phil Spencer.
Yeah, they both have said there's no console war. Now, if the guys at the top are saying there's no console war, why the hell are the gamers still acting like there's one?
Exactly. And that's really like the crazy thing is just everyone's kind of playing along pretty well. Like as far as like up top, like studio people, Xbox and PlayStation, like Twitter, they talk to each other, but all the fans are wanting to hate on each other. It doesn't make any sense. Like, and I understand like PlayStation fans being frustrated, and that's why Todd Howard and what's his face came out and said we feel for you.
Todd Howard was like, we understand, and the other guy was like, nah, screw that.
Well, yeah, well, that was the Xbox. That was Aaron.
He was
yeah,
that's right.
He was the Xbox.
Xbox.
He doesn't care. He just bought Bethesda. He does not care what you all think. But it makes sense because it's like, I don't know, it's different. It's different, and people saying that it's not need to like think about it a little bit more.
Here's what I would really love the gaming community to do. Stop letting people who don't know enough about anything like gaslight you. Because we've said, you and I both said time and time again, like the more opportunities you have to play these games anywhere, which is why Austin, you and I both are like, we're like massive cheerleaders for crossplay.
Yes.
We are massive
crossplay. PlayStation games on PC. Like, I'm a big proponent. Like, let him go.
Well, I mean, I'm biased. I'm a PC gamer, but you're not gonna hear me bitch about Ghost of Tsushima coming to PC.
If PS Now was worth a damn, I would love for it to come to Nintendo Switch and be a place where they can, play games on there.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like honestly, okay, maybe 20, 25 years ago. Yeah, like the companies wanted the entire gamer base to be in their direction. But with the way the economy is now, like the more people that get their hands on it any way possible, that's the key. That's why cloud gaming is taking off. That's why being able to play anything on the go, is becoming a thing and stuff like that. You guys people just need to let it go. This isn't hard, like for people who say they love to play video games, why are you trying to isolate yourself and limit yourself in one place? The only thing that should be holding you back from playing these games is money. That's the only thing that should be holding you guys back from playing this game. Like we got two systems out there, $500 a piece. I understand if that's the bottleneck for you to not play these games, but if these games are not requiring those $500 pieces of hardware, I was telling my friends last week, I'm thinking about buying a freaking Xbox Series S just to play Jet Set Radio Future.
Yeah, I'm getting one for Starfield. Like when Bethesda was bought, that's literally the moment where I was like, well, I want to buy an Xbox. I want to play the Xbox games, but I was like, I have to get. I already told Katie, I was like, listen, November 11th, 2022. I have to have an Xbox Series S before then because Starfield is a huge thing to me. Like I love Fallout and I love Elder Scrolls. This is exactly what I go for.
So when Starfield comes out, is it going to be a test of how much you love your wife, or is it going to be a test of how much she loves you?
Well, so here's the thing. Our anniversary is November the 2nd, so I got to make that weekend like really good. And then, that next weekend, hopefully. She's staring at me right now, but hopefully that next weekend's good enough where I can get that Xbox Series S and Starfield and spend a whole week away from work, So
I can just see her giving you the side eye right now. I can see it.
She every podcast I do, she gives me the side eye probably at least 3 times, maybe more. She would do it more if she just didn't tune me out eventually.
Hey, this is why men have women. Like women keep us honest.
True.
All right. Well, there you have it. Congratulations, Housemarque. Like we said, we knew your day was coming. Like, congrats.
Yeah.
We can't wait to see what comes out from you guys. Here's to a fruitful relationship with Sony. Or with gaming in general, because who knows? Just because they're a Sony studio doesn't mean it's just going to be exclusively on PlayStation.
I mean, and make Resogun 2, please.
Stranger things have happened. I mean, we do have MLB The Show on Xbox. Strange
Yeah,
things have happened.
I mean, anything can happen. Wait, I mean, if Master Chief ends up being on Smash Bros or something, then it changes the game forever. It'd just be like, all right, and then you got Master Chief on Fortnite, and it's on everything. So
why do I feel like if Master Chief shows up on Smash, that's when the Smash fans will lose their minds and want to like set things on fire?
I mean, you can literally give Smash players Waluigi, the person that people have been begging for, and they'd still set it on fire. They'll never be happy. Smash community is never happy.
Yeah, true. All right, so that's it for the big topic for tonight. But guess what? Rumor Control is back this week. Haven't had one of those in about a month, have we?
No, no. It's been pretty. It's actually been pretty quiet, honestly, for PlayStation news. It's
yeah. I mean, there's no news, and then there's suddenly news, like this Housemarque and this Bluepoint Games thing.
It's either it's too obvious, like we know it's probably true, or it's like so vague from Reset Era or something. Where we have no idea.
Right. Yeah. Well, tonight's Rumor Control actually points back to our Ghost of Tsushima topic from earlier tonight. Is a standalone expansion to Ghost of Tsushima incoming? All right, this news comes to us from pushsquare.com. So here's a juicy rumor that you're going to see everywhere very shortly. Ghost of Tsushima, the excellent open world PS4 exclusive, which may or may no longer be exclusive to PS4, that launched last year, is apparently getting a standalone expansion titled Ghost of Ikishima, Ikishima. It is supposedly to take place on the Japanese islands of Iki, which are south of Tsushima, just off the coast of mainland Japan. Word is that it is on track for launch sometime this year. All right. Ghost of Ikishima will apparently feature in Sony's next showcase. That's a rumor. You did not hear that here. That is not confirmed by Crossroads PlayStation Podcast. So don't come in our DMs, because Austin and I will be ready for you.
I'll probably just ignore you if we're being honest.
There are suggestions that said showcase is happening in the near future. All right, so there's no denying that all of this sounds more than feasible. Ghost of Tsushima developer Sucker Punch has released media expansions before, with Infamous 2 getting Festival of Blood. I love that. I love when a standalone game feels like a game itself. I love it. And Infamous Second Son getting First Light. So yeah, Sucker Punch has a pedigree for this stuff. Plus, these smaller standalone titles are just something that Sony does these days. Uncharted: The Lost Legacy and the more recent Spider-Man Miles Morales immediately spring to mind. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Spider-Man Miles Morales should have been an expansion, but you know what? I'm happy for what we got. It launched the PS4. It launched the PS5, and it did well. I enjoyed it. All right, so meanwhile, rumors of a summer state of play have been swirling around for weeks. Austin and I, we are kind of responsible for some of that. We've been talking for weeks about there's a summer state of play coming, especially after the dismal nothingness that was Summer Game Fest, which Sony is a partner of. And nothing happened from Sony. You know, they let Square Enix run with some Final Fantasy news, and that was about it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and Capcom.
Director's cut for Death Stranding,
and Capcom saying something about what is it? Resident Evil 8 DLC that nobody knew was coming.
Right.
Not even Capcom knew it was coming.
They're like, wait, we are?
All right, so yes, so a summer state of play is supposedly coming, and this would obviously be the time for a key announcement. Yeah. Here, let me finish this, and then we'll break this down real quickly. But here's the thing: all we have to go on right now in terms of evidence is a couple of tweets from Xbox Era founder at something Nick at Shepashal Special. That might be what it is. Special Nick. You know what? I'll put that in the Twitch chat for everybody to see right now. If someone can correct me. Tell me how to pronounce that. I would love you guys. I'm not saying I'd love you enough to give you a copy of Ratchet and Clank, but I would love you.
Just do me. Just assume he gets that.
And a handful of tweets from other insider accounts. As such, we're wary of putting too much stock into this rumor until it's corroborated further. Although, again, it does sound perfectly plausible, which is why our good friends at PushSquare.com decided they need to write about it. Okay, so here's the big question, Austin. Would you like to see a standalone expansion to Ghost of Tsushima?
Yes. I mean, I love these like standalone deals that they got going on.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting if they did it this year, you know, because I've been a pessimist on the fact that we're getting Horizon 2 this year. I think that's going to be next year. We're definitely not getting God of War now, so it would be a good thing, you know, after Kena comes out and after Deathloop comes out, maybe in that December time, kind of like or November time where Spider-Man Miles Morales came out, have that Ghost of Tsushima kind of standalone expansion to come out. But I feel like that's pretty quick. I feel like,
right?
I don't know. It feels a little too fast. So I am intrigued, but I mean, who knows how long Sucker Punch has been working on this? They may have already had the assets there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of like, you know, this is something they probably already had in the background. It may have been DLC at first, and now we're gonna expand it. You know, kind of. It seems like that might have been how everything starts out. Like, oh, we're gonna make DLC. It's like, nah, we can make this a whole thing. So, you know, I'm a big fan. I wonder if this will come out with a director's cut though. If this will come out at the same time.
That would be legit.
And that would be an interesting thing if they said, hey, $100 director's cut, but it comes with this whole new expansion. That would be an interesting to see if they could pull off. Because, you know, we've been talking about price of games going up and stuff. That'd be interesting to see if they could pull off $100 game where it's Ghost of Tsushima remat, like, you know, PS5 director's cut, DLC included, and the expansion, and see if that would.
You already know what's going to happen. It's going to be, well, the Mass Effect Legendary Edition was already announced for the last gen, so they couldn't charge $70 for it outright. But chances are they'll go back to the whole Game of the Year edition, or they'll call Ultimate Editions or whatever, and then it'll be just the regular price of admission for the game itself. You know, which, you know, it's no big deal. Like a lot of guys like me actually. You know, here's a funny story. Like I was content to completely miss out on Final Fantasy VII Remake, because like apparently it's going to be like 3 editions of it, which, you know, like 1 game per each disc. That was basically the PS1 game.
Right.
I was completely ready to like sit back and just wait until the entire kit came out. And then buy the 1 edition, because you know the one time that it actually paid off in dividends for me, the Mass Effect trilogy.
Oh yeah, playing it back to back to back and not having to worry about waiting
the
whole year.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I have the DLC sitting in my shopping cart right now on the PlayStation Network. I just haven't stroked it. I just haven't stroked it to like have PayPal pay for it yet. But yeah.
I was gonna say, so you saw that Final Fantasy VII Integrate edition, and you're like, man, all right, I'll get it now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I already jumped because I bought the PS4 version of the Final Fantasy VII Remake. But I bought it with the intention to play it on my PS5 because Target had the buy 2 get 1 free sale. So and it also wasn't full price. I think it was on sale for $40. So like I got it for $40. You remember, like I got that. I got DBZ Kakarot, and then I got the BioShock collection for Switch because you encouraged me to pick up the BioShock collection. Because I was like, guys, I don't know. I'm looking for a game. I feel like I should get it for the Switch, but I don't know what game to get. And then I saw, ooh, BioShock is all 3 games is $30.
We talked about Jehovah's Witnesses earlier. I'm basically a Jehovah's Witness for BioShock. I get everyone to buy that game. I don't even care if you play it or not. Like, I just want you to buy it. Like,
Do
just
you
buy that game.
do you have time? Do you have time for our Lord and Savior Big Daddy?
Yeah.
When I ask you about the rapture, do you know what it means?
Exactly.
But to answer the question earlier, I would say yes. I would like to see a standalone expansion for Ghost of Tsushima. I already said, like, Ghost of Tsushima feels like Sony's gift that keeps on giving right now. And you know what? Okay, like, I'm in the chat, Zumi said, be wary because of the burnout Assassin's Creed struggled with, with the yearly release. I am painfully aware of that.
Yeah.
I am, uh, hopefully they don't try to squeeze every drop of blood out of the rock that is Ghost of Tsushima. But I'd love to see where this is going. I have a funny feeling that Ghost of Tsushima has taken a life of its own. I feel like eventually they're going to run out of historical topics to deal with this whole universe, and they're going to have to start making original content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think once we get this standalone, you're not going to see them again for at least at the end of the PS5 cycle or whatever the next generation is. Maybe the PS6.
Oh, you know what? Circling back to Bluepoint Games for a second, wouldn't it be amazing if they remade Infamous 1 and 2?
Oh yes.
They could have my money.
And their DLC, like I mean, what is it? Carnival Souls? Is it Carnival Souls?
Festival of Blood. Festival of Blood.
See, I don't know why I say Carnival of Souls when I know for sure it's Festival of Blood. It's two words that are almost that.
Man, we fanboyed the hell out of this tonight, didn't we?
Oh yeah.
We don't need a stinking third chair. Nelly can stay. No, let me stop.
No, we want Nelly back.
Yeah, we want Nelly back.
Yeah.
God, she's missing out on some shows. Like, I'm gonna cut this episode tonight, and I'm gonna send it directly to her. Like, watch this show. All right, well, that's it. That's our show for tonight. As always, in the outro, as we do every week, we like to give big thanks to you for tuning in to Crossroads PlayStation Podcast. Before we go, here's how you can get connected with and stay connected with us. Austin, plug yourself.
You can find me at PlayStaustin on Twitter, and you can find all my other information there as well, as far as PlayStation name, Xbox name, Nintendo Switch code, all that stuff. And I want to give a quick shout out to something real quick on Twitter. Edmund McMillan, the creator of Binding of Isaac, is coming out with another drop, another DLC, and it's got another fan competition going on. The first one was make 101 Isaac memes, and make 500 people with 500 hours logged into Isaac, the Binding of Isaac, which there are people with 1,400 hours in Binding of Isaac. I'm like, wow, my numbers are chump. And then 55 people do their best stand-up comedy on video telling an Isaac-themed joke. 182 people draw Isaac bosses as if they were Pokemon, and 58 people take pics in the bath with "Buy My Bathwater."
What?
Keep it PG. Those are the goals that he wants to reach. So it's crazy. If you go to Edmund McMillan's Twitter page, you can see all that stuff. You can see all the hashtags going on. There's binding of Pokemon. There's for the people who put in
Binding
500
of
hours.
Pokemon.
Yeah. For the people who put 500 hours into it, he says use the hashtag don't buy it, like don't play it. So all kinds of stuff. It's really fun. It's a great game. I love that game. So definitely check that out over on Twitter.
That's hilarious. All right. As usual, you can catch me on social media at EXODUS803. Don't forget, that's also my Twitch handle. That's also my YouTube channel name, X's803. That's also my gamer tag. Well, trust me, you can't go anywhere now and not look for X's803 and not find me now. Except for, Nintendo Switch, because, Switch... the codes and all that stuff, but whatever. Special shout out to Zoomy 2009. Thank you for being here with us this week. And yeah, I don't know why I got out of breath just now. It wasn't like I said a whole bunch of stuff. All right, but that being said, if you have some free time in your hands, head over to bossrushgames.com and take a look at all the content Boss Rush has to offer. This week's episode of the Boss Rush podcast celebrates Pride Month. Edward Varnell from Nintendo Power Block, Grayson Morales from Game Rant, and myself all sit at the table and talk about a whole host of topics range from LGBTQ characters in gaming, and also how we coped with things during the first stage of the pandemic, and for some strange reason, there we go. And the first stage of the pandemic, first year of the pandemic, and the idea of queer awareness and acceptance in the community. Also over at bossrushgames.com, there's a nice little discussion about which franchise had the bigger impact on gaming. Was it Pac-Man or was it Super Mario? Our good friend Stephanie Klimov wants you to sound off in the June 29th edition of the Boss Rush banner. That is actually up on the website right now. Go check it out. And in episode 144 of the Arsenal X podcast, Corey, Jesse, and Stoy all talking about the success of Game Pass and a lot more. So yeah, there's enough for you to sink your teeth in right there. But you know what? Don't stop with any of my recommendations, because there's plenty of other shows and editorials available over at bossrushgames.com. Crossroads, the PlayStation podcast, wants you to come hang out with the community at the Boss Rush Games Discord. Links will be provided. Links to one of the best places for gamers and inclusivity. Can't talk now. Oh well. Will be provided in the Twitch chat. I hate it. I went all night without getting tongue-tied, and at the outro,
it was just us two tonight. You had a lot more. You had to carry a lot more work today.
All right, and just remember, you can chat with us and keep the conversation going by hitting us up on Twitter at @PS_Crossroads, where we hold it down with more news, events, and topics throughout the week as we get ready for the next PlayStation show. Also, hit us up at PS_Crossroads if you have any questions that you might want to have us read on the show, or if you just want to hang out, talk about food, talk about other games, tell me and Austin about stuff we should be playing. There's a bucket list coming out real soon for Boss Rush Games, where basically it's games that you need to play before you die. We will let you know when that is live, so you can go check it out as well over at bossrushgames.com.
Mine's gonna be one game long.
What's the
BioShock.
game? Okay, that's fair.
I don't know how the bucket list is gonna look, but I want people to click on my bucket list link and just says play BioShock, dummy, and then that's it. That's it.
I mean, everyone knows me, so they know there's a Monster Hunter title on my bucket list. Which one is it though? Is the question. You'll have to find out when the Boss Rush bucket list actually gets published. So be on the lookout for that. All right, the Boss Rush Games family wants you all to have a great night and go out there and play games, be better, live your life, be nice to people, enjoy it while it's there. Yep. Don't take everything so seriously. There's no such thing as a console war.
And let's just all be happy that we all have too many games to play. That's the problem. We have too many games to play these days.
Wasn't the pandemic supposed to be how we chipped into our backlog? I added more fucking games to my backlog.
Dude, I did so well at getting rid of 30 games on my backlog and then adding 37 back to it. So it's all right, did I get anywhere? I gotta start just hating on games. I need to stop being hype about games. I need to start hating on them now, so I'll just be like, I don't want to play that game.
I swear, our backlog, everybody's backlog. I feel like our backlog is like what happens when someone grabs Goku's tail in Dragon Ball. He immediately drains life out of us. We don't get anywhere. It just robs us of all our power. Yes, I'm gonna play this game. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. And not only am I not going to play the game, I'm going to add 6 more games on top of it. Guys, work on your backlog. Don't do it. Don't do it for me and Austin. Do it for yourself. You'll be happy.
Do it for your own mental sanity.
All right, that's our show for tonight. Have a great night, and we'll be back here next week with a whole new plethora of PlayStation and Sony topics for everyone to like sink their teeth into. We love you. Good night.
Go to your local mall. Get some mall food.
Be careful. Be careful of the store that's in the corner, though. Be careful of that one.
Oh, yeah. Don't go to that one. That might be hot.
All right, everyone. Take care. We love you. Good night.